Good morning, everyone. Um, Welcome to another week. Hopefully, it'll be a good one for everybody. And let's get started. So, over the weekend, I just had this idea, and I want to try and model it out, and we can do it together. Um, I don't know if you know, in Seoul, Korea, there used to be this overpass yeah, highway running right through downtown, and then they replaced it and restored it back to its original river format. And it's forgive my butchering of Korean, but Cheongjijeon. It's a long, like 10-kilometer long park now, kind of like the High Line in New York, only riverside. And here are some shots from it. And it's gorgeous. I actually was there in 2007, and it was really pretty. Um, and it definitely changed the entire flavor of downtown and all that stuff. But for us, I was having sort of a night city vibe from Cyberpunk 2077, and I thought this might be something kind of cool to try to make. I'm a little still up in the air as to how dystopic we're going to make it. Do we make it pretty? Do we make it grungy? We're going to see as we get started. But I pulled down these 6 references to sort of show what it looks like. You can see it varies, right? In some places we have natural shores. In other places we have these terraced steps. Um, Here we have a long sidewalk on one side and very short on the other. And there are areas where there's only a sidewalk on one side and it's just green on the other side. Didn't pull one of those. But anyway, um, let's get started. Let me just move this out of the way so I can see it, but you guys don't need to. Don't save. Go away. Ah, I just closed the wrong thing. Oh well, I have it up on the thing. Okay, so Blender. Now, the first thing we need to decide is um, how wide is it going to be and what are we going to use as the base of the river? So we have two kind of options I was thinking. Either we could model it all from scratch or we could use that procedural river thing that we used 2 weeks ago. And maybe let's start trying that. I like the I like some of the stuff it gives us. Um, so let's go grab it and F4, append, assets up, aim, geometry examples, procedural river, cycles, object, and river curve. Just bring it into our own files instead of using the default one. Close all this stuff down. So now we have a river, and we're going to need to obviously adjust it a bit. And the other thing I want to do is put a person in here for scale because it's bigger than you think it is. I just know from looking at it last time. So let's generate a person, finish creation. And let's go to them. Delete the armature, delete the eyes, delete the teeth, body. Okay, and I'm going to just turn off all of those instances, not human generation. So it's just service. You see those rocks are huge, and it's a little hard to get rid of them. If you start doing it too much, they start floating in the air. So it's the downside to this one without editing the geometry nodes. But let's go through and delete the vertices. And let's create a new path line. Well, do we want it to be straight or curved? Let's go slightly curved. And so if we're gonna do that, let's just draw it ourselves. Draw, and it's gonna be slightly curved. So just a little bit. And the other thing is that we don't have the processing power or time to generate this thing across a long stretch looking down it. So we're probably going to be looking across it a little more, which is fine. I think we will do it a little longer though. GY. That gives us a nice long run of river. Okay, go out of edit mode, back to object. And if we go to geometry nodes, they have very nicely separated out all the controls that we need for this thing kind of in the node. Maybe we can just do it here, can we? No, looks like they're not. No, he hasn't created. So width of the river, 10. Sure. Width of the bank, 5. Just gonna go kind of normal. I'm gonna take my riverbed object density down to like 0.2, just so there's a couple maybe a bit more. Let's see. There we go. The river side density to like 0.5. That's better. Just a few rocks, but nothing monstrous. Do we like our depth? That's deeper than the one in Korea, but I kind of like our depth. We can narrow it up a bit and bring it down to like depth 1. All right. Let's go back to, and I might come back in, I'm going to come back in here again to do things like mess with the plants a bit and probably some of these rocks. But I think for right now, we're in good shape. So we're into layout, and what this looks complicated, but really all it is a line. We have a simple line as a curve that's defining all the rest of that stuff. And we're going to use that same curve or a copy of it to make our shores. So let's duplicate it and get rid of the geometry nodes. So now we have our river curve and our thing that we're going to use to mod it. And I don't know the best way to do this. There's lots of ways to do it, but let's try some. Let's see what we get. Geometry. If we give it a bevel, it makes it round, and we want a flat thing. So probably not going to do that. Let's try extrude, and that goes vertically. But we can use that, I think, because we're going to use this to cut the river out more than we're going to use it to actually be. So if we do that, I like that. And then offsetting it just moves it to the left and right, so we don't want to do that. Keep it right down the center where it was. And we're going to extrude it. Let's make it just 5. It's big because we're going to use it as a Boolean cut. And Q, convert to mesh. So now we have our mesh line, and we should be able to add modifier solidify, and that's going to work down to one side, which is not what we want. We want it to go offset 0 right down the middle, and our thickness is going to be, we said, well, we'll turn back on the river and we'll see. 6. And we'll turn back on our geometry nodes. And now we can edit this thing till it cuts exactly the way we want. So thickness, 15, 18, 20. 20 seems reasonable. I guess it makes sense. We said 10 and 5, didn't we? So there's our total width of our river. Got a little bit of wonkiness, but that's cool. We're going to want to smooth that down anyway. So let's take it to actually 19.5. I'd like to have a little bit of that wonkiness on both sides if I can. I want it to cut just 19. There we go. So we're going to clip off that or hide that much on either side. Okay, so there's our Boolean object now. Bear with me on this. This is, we're all right. Trust me. So let's create a cube now. And this is going to end up being our sidewalks. doesn't need to be that long. 7, sure, fits in. Everything's in there almost. GY. Okay, yeah. SY, just so that I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna make it a little less than the river. Let's just go to, there we go, now I can see it. Okay. And let's edit it, bring the top down. It's gonna go up that high above the river. Do we like that for our first one? I think we do. And I'm going to extend this out a bit more. Actually, just GX, undo that. GX, there we go. Just make it a little wider. GX, a little wider. Now, if we take this, select this, and because we have bool tools turned on, Control minus, bring that back, and now we have our river cut into our object. I've made it way deeper than it needs to be, and that's fine. Yeah, so that's working for me. So now let's take this one, so we can see where we're at, GZ, and bring it, let's bring it back up to here. There's no reason not to. And let's apply it, Control A. Okay, select this again. Now let's GZ and bring it up to what we'll call our first step. Seems good. Now it's thickness, and like this 22, just 21. And we're going to cut it again from, I think that gives us that first step that we saw in the Korea Canal. I can speak, yes. And let's apply it again. And let's go GZ.3 now. How high do we want to go? Oh, actually that might be good. Maybe it's too high. I gotta look at my dude. It's easy to get your scale off, but okay, we're gonna have a big step for the first one. That's fine. Bigger than they have in Korea, but I don't care. So now GZ.3, so a foot higher, maybe even 0.5, half a meter. And then let's extend it out, thickness to 23. And then subtract it again. There's our second step. Cool. Then let's do it again. GZ, oh, did I apply it? Apply it. GZ.5, thickness 25. Control minus, apply it again. Yeah, so we got 2 steps. Let's do, they only had 2, I think, but I'm gonna do one more. GZ.5, 27, and minus apply. I like it. Okay, and I think then I'm going to apply that. Just going to hide that for right now. I might want it again later. Yeah, it's turned off. Okay, now let's select our top faces, and I'm going to turn on snap, snap to vertex, GZ, no, snap to edge. I don't use snapping very often, so trying it. Edge, GZ. There we go. Now GZ.5. So we brought it back up to that same step level. And now let's save. Yay! New 230605-1 live stream canal. 230605-1. Yes, live stream canal. Saved. So now we have steps that exactly mirror our river. They're not dynamic, so we can't change the river, but that's fine. We have our sidewalk, or at least an initial sidewalk, and we need a wall. And I think for the wall, I want it to be straight. I don't want it to mirror the river. So we'll take the outside edges and let's see what we can do. I mean, I can just bring them in. That might be the easiest thing. GX, bring it in. So we have a sidewalk about that wide. Where's our person? That's a wide ass sidewalk. Let's bring our dude up. Oh, turn off snapping. Yeah, see, that's a big sidewalk. So let's bring it in a bit more. GX, bring it to like right where he's at actually. So that's going to be the width on that side. And then this side, kind of the same. Still big, but big is okay. And I think we're going to put a crowd of people in here too. So this is like a river. It's not a creek. It's, I mean, it's 10 meters across. So it's, like 33 feet for you Westerners. And then plus the bank, which we're going to sort of say goes higher. And that's why we have a bank. So like when it floods, it gets higher. So then let's select this. And select this. Alt E along normals. 1. Oh. Control A, rotation scale, tab. Alt E along normals 1. 1 meter. And then we're going to take it up E3. 3 meters. So that's going to be our wall along the sides there. And then we're going to E, and let's go, we're on individual origins, right? Yeah, scale, or not even scale. I don't want to do it. E, Control C, Shift C, E 0.5. And I'm just going to do, I'm being obnoxious to be exact. E, on normals, 0.15. So 6 inches out, and we have a little bit of a lip now, and it's exactly 15 centimeters, which is fine. That's what we wanted. And then we'll select the whole thing again. You don't need to be this precise, but and then E 0.5, half a meter up, and there's our next section. And then I'm just going to select this one and this one and E 0.5. So another half. So we got like a little lip. Yeah. Cool. Actually, yeah. And let's do fun. Let's see. It's GX minus 0.5. Do I want to angle like that? Yeah, but I think I want to go higher, but we'll do this again. GX 0.5. And then I'm just going to take this. And now that I've done that, I think I want it a little higher. But I do like the angle. So GZ1. Save again. All right, so now we have the basis of our canal section. I think it's actually pretty good. I like the curve here, and then it goes straight there, and that's fine. And we can decide if we want to look this way, or I think I'm kind of going to set our camera angle more like this. And maybe we should set a camera now so we know we're not having to build way more than we might otherwise. Area Alexa, the lens, I'm going with my anamorphic again. If you know me, you know I love my anamorphics. Resolution, we're going to set it to 239 and make it widescreen and cinematic. And let's bring it over. And we could do that. That's not bad. Kind of gives more even. And do we want to take it higher? Go to 40. Not 48. 40. Is that too far? I think we can do it because I think we can put a bridge down that other end. I kind of want to have enough that we can see some buildings on the top too. So let's take it to like 40. And that's going to be our camera, our wide camera angle. We'll do a close one later. And we know we need to fill in this section here at least slightly with something to hide it. And we can decide to do that now. Yeah, let's do that now. Let's get our framing set up properly. So this end here, we want to put maybe a bridge or a jetty extension, something. Let's just come out of edit mode. Here, Shift S, cool. Day, mesh, cube, tab, GY1, scale. Okay, tab, E. Now let's make it a bridge. Let's try that, see how it goes. So now they're not even though, so we can't really just do it mirroring. Well, we can mirror later and then just do it. E. Now if we said here, let's do that. Shift S2, object set origin to 3D cursor, Alt X, mirror. We got a bridge. You don't even really see anything. Like you don't see the bridge part. We can actually turn it a bit more, so get a bit more of that bridge in there. Come back. That'd be cool. It's like, yeah, it's the hint of something, but we don't really have to care too much about it. Looking good. Let's solo our bridge, edit it, come in here, 2, Control B, oh, Control A, rotation scale, Control B, bevel it. Let's make it curved. Cool. I mean, really, that's all we pretty much need. Anything else is almost going to be overkill, but we might want the scene later. So I don't mind a little overkill. Tab, 3. Oh, stay on the side. E, E, E1. Bridge. Woo! Save. Alrighty. Hopefully this is interesting to people, or at least, whatever. Let's see what we look like with colors. The river obviously looks gorgeous because that's the whole point to what we were using that. We're going to need to add some concrete materials to this stuff. And then we're going to just cyberpunk it, add some buildings and some details that make it interesting. But not bad for a start. I feel like we've made a good dent in where I wanted to be. Let's do some materials. I have lots of concrete materials. I'm not sure which ones to use at this point. Procedural or UV is the first question. We could grab some of the ones from Kitbash 3D that are UV'd, or we could do some, I have some cool procedural ones too. Well, let's start with the Kitbash 3D ones and see what we get. Blender shaders, concrete. This is where we get, concrete. This is how grungy do we want to be too? And we don't really know yet. Let's see, A, U, cube projection. Okay. Um, these are from all the different kits that I have from Kit Bash 3D. So there's the Brutalist Concrete with Grime. There's Concrete Wall Clean. Let's try, I'm gonna use a couple, I think. Let's see Concrete Wall Clean. What does that look like on here? I kind of like that as a text, as a material. I mean, obviously the scaling is way wrong, but I like the color. So let's start with that one. Let's tweak the scale. UV editing, AS 10. Let's see, 8. That seems about right for the wall. That looks about right. We're gonna obviously need some different ones here, but that seems about good for the wall. So it was 10, just as we need to go through and adjust some of the other ones. Let's focus on this side right now. I think we want our steps to be different than our wall. Might be easier just to do the whole thing the other way, but whatever. Yeah. Add a new material. I'm just gonna give this, because these two are easy. We'll give them that material. Concrete wall clean. Assign. Concrete wall clean. This one we're gonna set to the other stuff because I don't want it to be, it's easier to select that way. Let's see. BRT. Let's see if we can just do BRT con. Now we can just get those and hopefully it'll stay the same. Floor tiles? Let's see if that works. It's all right. It's not great. I actually think I'm going to mix and match and use some procedurals just because it's going to be easier with these curved to make it read right. So rather than this, let's try kit ops, loft materials, dirty concrete, clean concrete, smooth concrete. Let's start with dirty concrete. That should be all right. Why are those not right? Select, view, cube projection. Now it's projecting right. It's just the way that the dirt's not looking good. All right. I don't like those lines. It's just the way it's projecting the dirt. It's a pain. Let's just try just the default concrete. And I won't play too much with this because why did I do that? I did grab both. Whatever. That's better. I still don't love it, but it's better. Let's try something. Tab, select, U, Smart UV project. See if it makes it better on these. Yeah, that's better. And our scaling is still off, or off again probably. Let's look and see. Yeah, let's see if it works to the same scale. So we said by 10. It's better. I think I can live with that to start with. Okay. Layout. Now, we want to do this line here. And we need it to have its own color. Sign, and it's going to have, I want it to have a darker concrete. So let's see if the dark concrete works here or not. Yeah, I can live with that for right now. Okay, save again. And I'm gonna close our asset browser for right now, give us more room. Cool. And I think our bridge, let's set it to generic concrete for right now, just across the board. AU cube projection. Yep. Now that's looking all right. I actually think I might want to bring everything down so this bottom step is not as high, or the river up. Maybe it's just easier to bring a river up. GZ. I know I was like, it's how I wanted it, but as I look at it, I think it's better. Yeah, it's better if the steps are all about the same size. So save. Cool. Not bad for 30 minutes, folks. Now, do we want to make it dirty? And I mean, maybe we do. I think at the very least we want to add a bevel if we don't do anything else to it, but we might want to grunge this out a little bit with some cracks and some damage. And we can use one-click damage for that, assuming it's, let's see, all transforms or rotation scale. Let's see what one-click does to it. It destroys it. Cancel. This thing, not looking super great there, but I think it's because of the way we use the booleans. It didn't want to do the cuts, and that's, it is what it is. All right, so no cuts that way. And we can, the very least, just a straight boolean will help. But the other thing I was thinking of for interest is what if we do, can we select these edges here and give like a metal lip to it? You don't want to decrease down to just like 1 and pretty narrow. It's going to be 0.025, so 1 inch width. And we're going to add a new material and assign it. And I'm going to use my materials. And I just like, I haven't used my dirty grungy metal that thinks it's a smooth concrete. Seth dirty PG metal. So now what do we got? So now, yeah, okay. See, so what we did was we put this as a little lip on all those stairs, which is kind of common. You see that a lot in construction. Select it. Make sure it's selected. Yep. Cube projection. Cool. And I think we want to scale it again. No, yeah, we should scale it again. UV editing. Yes, we definitely should. I just want to select that. S10, make it consistent. And I mean, it's close enough. We're never going to see that, but it still looks like ass. But I think it's okay for what we're doing. The scale is just off, but it does give us just a little bit. It's almost subliminal, but a slight edge separation there on those things that I like. Yeah, you can see it better from this angle. So other things we could do. I liked that little. I don't have it up anymore. I apologize. But the Korean one has like a little hoppy thing across the river. So let's put hoppy thing. A broken bridge that goes across. A hoppy thing. Jesus, Seth. All right. Shift A, mesh, cube, and we're gonna make it. Wow. SY 0.5. 2 meters by 1 meter. Bring it down. I don't want to run over that rock though, because those rocks are good. So let's keep it right to here. Let's see where we're at. Yep. GX. Okay. And I'm going to just bevel it so it gives it a more of a rounded vibe. I could just use the bevel mod, I suppose, but bevel it. And Q array. So it looks right. Can we do one more? Or move it more. Something like that. Can we see it? Yeah, we can see it. And we're going to give it the same material. Cube projection. We'll give it the clean concrete or general concrete, at least to start with. Yeah, so it has a little walkway thing going across there. I like that. Looking good. Looking real good. So now, I think I want to put some buildings behind it just so I can start getting the vibe that I want. We can keep modeling this for a while, but I want to sort of set the scene for that. And I'm not going to make these buildings. I'm just going to grab some that I have to make my life easier. I'm going to take this thing, E, and extrude it out. We should never see it, no, but it just gives me a plane to put buildings on. I don't think we're going to need many. I'm going to grab a new version, a new blender. So I'm sorry, this will be off camera. Well, once it comes up, but I'm going to use I think I'm going to start and try the Kitbash 3D Neo San Francisco buildings. You can use whatever you want. It's going to just depend on the vibe you're going for. If you wanted it, I don't know, more grungy and dark, you could go with even that alley builder that we used last week to make our other scene and just throw a building in there. But maybe this is, yeah, let's do it differently. This is too much. I don't want to make cool buildings, and I'm not doing an advertisement for Kitbash 3D. So, yeah, yeah. I just like using my stuff. But I had these other ones here, City Builder, and Clean Sci-Fi, Hong Kong, Derelict Future, Dirty Sci-Fi, Soviet. All these are cool. Metro is just more like default normal looking. Yeah, medieval stuff. Start with a clean sci-fi building and see how we feel about it. And we might change. Medium building there. And we see a building now. GX, GY, bring it over. Cool. So there's our first building. And then Hong Kong, just to get that cyberpunk kind of look to it. We'll do a bit of both. Let's see how this one does. Is this too small? Might be too small. Pretty far away now at this point, right? Like that's gonna be a big road. Yeah, that's probably too small. Yeah. That's even, let's see, is that how big a road? That might even be too big a road. Well, that's our sidewalk. No, we'll allow it. It's gonna be like a wide road on the other side of this thing. These are tinier in comparison, but I don't think it needs to go up as high, so it's fine. And I need to increase my camera distance because we can't see it because it's past 100 meters. Camera, clip end, 500 meters instead. Okay. Yeah, that'll be fine. And RZ90. 7. Let's keep going. G. Kind of crazy and cutting in, but that's cool. It's very much in keeping with the vibe of the world. So we got the overlap there. Yeah. And we'll go the derelict future. What do we have? Something, see how that looks. Or just just a regular old building. So many options. All this stuff is going to really set what your thing looks like. That's kind of up to you. I do like round buildings though. And I don't need a factory. Let's go with another large building. RZ90. If you're keeping track, you'll note that this bridge no longer has a road. Do I care? I don't know. Maybe. There we go. And we might want a second layer of something just so we don't see through that. Depending on what HDR we used, but clean sci-fi. Just gonna grab some. Yeah, these are big buildings here. RZ90, which is cool because I just want to use it to block basically line of sight. Yep. Let's do that one more. Just duplicate it. Alt D. Put it here. G. Yeah, we'll put it here. And then RZ 180, just so it looks a little different in case we can tell. I don't think we will, but just in case. Now let's see what we got. It's thinking about materials. I see some comments. Butterby, the guy's in there. I can see him. He's small. Dude's like right there. And I'm kind of scaling to roads versus people at this point. GY, I want to close that up. I think it's actually just light. Cool. And we need something over here too, I think. It's not, or did I? No, that's good. I'm just getting off. Okay. So it almost feels a little too crowded now. GY, pull it out. GY, bring it back. GY, bring it back. Save. And it's thinking and updating the lights, and that's too much. Or we need darker. Let's see. GY. Or is it more than 5? It shouldn't be more than 500. Those gaps are about, so that's half a meter. So it's less than half a meter. The steps are up is half a meter. So it's a little more than half a meter. We could add another step in there. Either way. 7 and decrease. The offset is, yeah, that's how big they are. 2. Where am I at? Ah, piss off. Yeah. Let's increase it. There you go. That's a little better for you, maybe. So, and the dude, it is a fairly long jump, but I don't. If you look, the ones in Korea actually are too. It's kind of interesting to me how much it was, but yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's an acceptable jump for sure. Right, back to here. We at halfway. Okay, so now we have our buildings. We have our default base stuff. We need to decide how we're going to bling this out a little bit. We got a couple of options. I suppose we have almost an infinite number of options, but what I'm thinking, we could either add more greenery along here, or we could go more um, cyberpunk, or we could do both, which could be kind of interesting. Um, One thing I was thinking about is maybe some kind of like awning or covering over this area to prevent UV lights from killing everything in this, cyberpunk world, if we're going to do that. Why are you? That should not be whole. There should be something right there. Um, and is there something right there? Or is that just where that building's? Nope, that's just where that building's being able to see through. Fine. Let's see, is that better? I think it's better. There we go. No more holes. Um, oh, Korea's neat. I like Seoul a lot. I know it's kind of Westerners and all the weebs are so not, but I actually like Seoul better than Tokyo. If I had to pick one to one or the other, Seoul is cooler than Tokyo is. Um, Actually, a lot of Korea is really neat and cheaper than Japan, but Japan has anime, so all the weebs love it. I'm biased. I lived in Japan for 2 years, so I kind of got to the point where I was like, oh yeah, here. But Seoul's really cool. It's a neat city. Um, it's still a neat mix of like poor, or there was 15 years ago, r- nicer and poorer areas that Tokyo has kind of lost. So there's not a lot of that sort of grungy cyberpunk stuff in Tokyo anymore. It's mostly just it's like what happened to Times Square. It kind of Disneylanded, and I mean, it's fine, but um, I I like I don't know. I was walking down the street, and in Seoul, whorehouses are in the backs of barber shops, and it's just funny to hear people calling out to looking for customers and things like that. It's just a weird environment. It was cool. Um, yeah, and I was with my ex-wife at the time, and these ladies be like, "Hey, call." Oh, never mind. It was very funny. Like, yes, I'm with somebody. Thanks. Um, just keep moving these buildings around a little bit while I'm trying to decide what to do. Okay. We have no lights. That's one thing we might want to put into some street lights of some kind. I feel like up here at the top, presumably there's a sidewalk or at least a road on the other side of this wall that we're not seeing, and I would guess we would have some sidewalks. Um, yeah, that park. This is what I'm basing this whole thing off of. Is that park that they made the green space out of? Cheongjicheon. It's cool. Um, I had no idea it was as new as it was when I was there. I'd only been there like 2 or 3 years after they'd finished it, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool." I just thought it was normal. And it was, yeah, it was not. Um, let's see. Um, Ian had some um, street lights. I'm just grabbing some because I don't super care what they look like. I just want something that looks kind of neat. Um, the parking lot style. I do like the parking lot style street light. Where'd it go? Okay. I'm going to take it up a little higher. We're going to assume that the road on this side is higher than on that side. We don't have to match it. Maybe I'll just bring it up so I don't have to worry about it. Now I know where my ground is. It doesn't matter because I'm not going to see people on it, but just lets me be able to be consistent about how high up things are when I place stuff, if there actually is a ground plane. Um, see. Looks good. Can we array it? I don't want a radial array it. I just want to array it. Why you got to be that way? It's because it's a group. It's because it's a group. Is that why? Why you got to be that way? You won't let me apply. Okay, I can't apply modifiers to it because it's not a single object. Can I Alt D? Yes. Y 10? Yes. And then we should do the Shift R and have it do the same thing. One more. We got lights. And then maybe for consistency's sake, I'm going to take all those lights, even though I'm not looking the other direction. Let's see what the hit to our scene is if we just dip it over here. I might get rid of them if it's daytime. I haven't decided on the time of day for the scene yet. You won't, obviously the ones on this side you won't notice at all if it's daytime. If it's night, you might. I'm just thinking da 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 da. Cool. That works for me. So far we're very clean. One thing we might want here is some stairs up. I think that would be cool. Let's try making some stairs. We can make them ourselves, which is always an okay thing. Or Blender in the additional objects you can turn on has arc mesh objects. And one of the things you can make is stairs. Number of stairs. I don't need 116. 25 maybe? Yeah, 20. 20 seems good. Width, we're going to make them 2 meters because it's going to be, yeah. Close the sides. Yep. I don't need deformation handles. Rounded or rectangular. Let's see. No, we want rounded. We want rectangular. And maybe I'm going to add one more stair. Okay. Stairs! And if we're going to do that, let's go there. And then GX, bring it out. Okay. It doesn't close it off, which is annoying, but we can. I'm just going to edit it. Yeah, apply the modifier. Solo, give me these stairs. Tab. Fine. You be that way. Just gonna select this one and this one. Solid. Piece off. And then this one and this one. F. Solid. Piece off. There we go. These stairs have a lip. That's kind of cool. Okay. And then 3. Select these. E3. No. EY3. That seems too much, maybe. Let's see how it looks. No, it's all right. But we are going to have to come in here now and adjust this thing. Excuse me. This one, tab, Control R, bring a loop cut to here, and Control R, bring a loop cut to here. Then we're going to say what's it look like on the other side? Yeah, that's good. E, G, X. Yeah, that works because I can just cut that. Let's do even more. Let's grab this one too. Yes. And this one. Just going to undo first because I don't want to undo history. Select. There we go. I don't want to have that edge already extruded out if I can avoid it. Okay, select all that. E, G, X to there. Cool. Even more to there. Even more. Take it all the way to here. Yeah, that'd be cool. We can just come through here now and I have to fix that. Face, face, and we'll just fix it. F, and then an edge, X, edge, delete it, X, edge, delete it. Not the world's greatest modeling, but it works. We have that, and then here, come through, and 3E. Now that I went, just gonna fill that all the way in. Cool. That gives us a stair, and that's a nice break up to the shape. Where are we at? Almost an hour. Okay, we're doing good. Do we want railings? We probably want a railing, don't we? Yeah, kids today, they're gonna want railings and all kinds of. Jesus, who knew, right? All right. How do we want to make a railing? Or just a wall? Could just do a wall. But I kind of like seeing the stair too. Can I select that and that? Oh, shift that and that. Yes. And then F. No. That. Come on. And that and F. Yes, I can. Okay, that's what we wanted. P, separate from selection. Now we can come through here and GZ1, meter up. Maybe not quite a meter. Let's do 0.75. And then tab A, shift D, GZ.5. Yep, okay. And now, still trying to decide how to do it. Q, curve extract. Do that for our first one. Okay. Now, come back to here, just grab, turn off the curve for right now. Now I should be able to come one. I'm gonna edit, right? I'm just going to edit mode one. Dot, dot, F. E G Z minus 0.75. Yes. Minus 1. And here too, F E G Z minus 1. E G Z minus 1. Right? And then E Y E G Y A tab A M by distance. Cool. Get rid of those crap ones. I'm just building up the stairwell. I mean, maybe pretty obviously, but it's not gonna. It doesn't have any. We could do a couple. I don't know. There are better ways to do this probably, but tab 2, Control R, 4, sure. E G Z minus 1. Minus 1.25. Is it minus 1.5? Yeah, okay, fine. Okay. 3x faces. No, fine. Now I've got this one already. Yeah, I should be able to. Q curve extract. Cool. Make it all the same size. J. Railing. Woohoo! Now, it's not the world's greatest railing, but it'll do for what I'm looking for. And where it's, I mean, it's across the the river too. Like we're not going to see it. I have this really bad tendency of over modeling, basically. Q convert to mesh. Like we don't need this thing to be viewable from up close. Let's see. 2 and edge, bridge edge loops. Cool. And that was the only one that looked kind of weird to me. That looks a little weird, but that's fine. Save. Yeah, it's not really about the buildings, Micah, and I didn't make them. Like they're cool, but they're just things I bought. So like, great, they're buildings. They don't matter. The only thing that matters about them is that they exist. Um, it's not. Um, you need to really kind of think about what your scene's going to be about. And ironically, I do like some cool things sticking off the side because it makes it feel like the world goes past that. I think a lot of new environment artists, when they make things, they put everything so they're just on the page and you see them all. And it's actually the worst thing you can do for a scene. It makes it dead and lifeless, and it feels like the world ends at the edge of your image. It's really not a great way to go about it. So I'm glad you like them because it means that you're like, oh, this world must be cool past this point. Yes. So the key is when you just need to make it so that there's enough cool stuff in this point that you don't go, this is boring. Why aren't we looking there? And, you know, I mean, and no matter what you do, somebody's going to do that because there's always some OCD person that just loves a particular whatever kind of thing, and that's all they want to see. So you can't win, but you do the best you can. Let's get rid of that now. And it's thinking. Cool. All right. Now we need to come over here. And this one, 3. These need to be our. Oh, I'm getting very frustrated with this. It's those buildings too. Save. I'm going to take all of our parking lot M, not, I mean, edit mode. There we go. M, new collection, street signs, lights, street lights. And I'm going to turn them off. And I'm going to take all those buildings you like. And right now, new collection, PG buildings. I am going to turn them off because they, so much better. Okay. So now let's come back in here and let's fix this. 3, 2, 3. There we go. And assign to wall clean. And cube projection, and we're just going to need to rescale them till they fit with the other stuff. Editing. Scale. Why are they not square? They should be square. Cube projection. Face off. See, that's 10. No, that's too big. Z. Okay, fine. I'm just going to select all that stuff. Cube projection S10. There we go. Now it's right. Oh, I didn't do this one either. Oh, it's fine. And that one. Yeah, that one. Those don't matter. Tab. Assign to wall clean. Select it all again. Cube projection S10. It's important to remember your scales on things because it'll make your life a lot easier if you don't have to figure it every time. What did I use last time? Keep using that. Okay, here, I think we're going to do also that clean. What is it? Fine. Clean. Yeah. Tab A, cube projection. It's even pretty close. Nah. Yeah. Nah. Okay. I don't like it. That's what it comes down to. So, see, concrete general. I can deal with that. Yeah, so it's different, but that's fine. It's a stair. And we might put something on that anyway. Save. We're at 108. Okay, 22 minutes left. We can do something cool in 22 minutes. We need to give this a color. I'm not sure. So in the short term, I'm just going to Blender shaders, Seth created. We'll make it yellow. It's all yellow. And then close area here. Okay. So where are we at? I think that I want to add a crowd, at least a little bit. I need some people. And I want to add something that says it's more than just current modern day. Like we need something a little different, but I don't know what. I could add a thing across the top, but you would lose all those background buildings, and I think it would kind of muddy it up. So I think we're going to leave it open to the sky. Time would you? Let's see. Turn it back on again. And have it sit. There we go. Yeah. We do need something though. There's just a couple little doo-woppers just sitting around. doo-woppers is a technical term, by the way. Yeah. Let's put a greebly thing here. I'm just going to make a new one. And again, I'm going to turn. I already did turn off the buildings again. Good. And I'm going to close this for right now. Come back to just gray modeling. I E E E E. What is it? We don't know. Something. But I kind of just like having something. Yeah, I like that. And maybe we're on an equal side on the other there too, once we're done. And this is where random flow comes in really handy too. A tab Q. We're gonna do random loop extruder plating, plate insets. Let's do plate insets. Give it 3 for subdiv. F9. I like clear. Thickness is 0.05. Nah. 0.01. Depth is 0.05. Let's see, get one more subdiv. That's cool. I want it to be clean. So I think I was debating back and forth, Micah, on how grungy it's gonna be, but I want it to kind of feel like the Park and Seoul, which is clean. So like Night City wise, if this were Cyberpunk 2077, this is one of the nicer areas, which if you think about it would make sense because you're not going to have anything green and growing in anything other than where rich people live. So I don't think posters and graffiti, you won't see cars, and the birds are all dead. Remember? Um, so we have to think outside the box for that. But yeah, from our camera angle here, you might see a car or two there, but we don't have a lot of big sky to show it. So we're gonna need things in the canal area that say this is sci-fi subtly without mess with this, because I think otherwise it's not gonna work. Let's see, face, poke face, 1, Q, circle, 3, E, I. When in doubt, add antennas to things. And the best way to add antennas to things is literally just to do ever decreasing cylinders. I. Yeah, we can even do it that way. Yep, put a little bit in, and then I, and then E. And I don't want to go quite to the top, so bring it down a bit. Cool. You could do a bike on a rack. That's true. Although again, this is like a walking area, so that would be up here, and you wouldn't see it. It's advertising is certainly a doable. I think first off, like I find that stuff to sort of be even more icing on the cake than other things. I want to kind of work on the structure before we start doing things like that. And GY, I'm just kind of making it roughly even to the other side of the stairs. It doesn't have to be exact. Cool. Also, repeating shapes give you a sense of scale. It helps a lot. Stairs are also really good for that too. But you kind of know how far this is because you're like, oh, it's the same shape, and our brains are really, really good at dealing with perspective. Now that's not going to have a material yet, so it's going to look kind of wonky still. So it's not a bad idea just to throw stuff like that into a scene every once in a while. Um, we will go a little bit grunge because I think this is going to be uglier looking, and I think I'm going to try using one of the trim sheets from the Starship Greeble pack because I think it'll help. I think it'll work. And if it doesn't, we'll use our own. Big, medium, small. Actually, I've got my own. I'll just do it that way. Blender shaders because I copied them out. Big, medium, small. With the grunge, without the grunge. We'll try with the grunge for right now. See how it goes. Tab A, U, cube projection. Yep, that's cool. I'm very easy to please sometimes. That's cool. Um, yeah. See now you're like, oh, yeah, that's not us. That's something different. There's a little bit weirdness there. Good. At least I do that. I'm gonna come down to this again, and the other thing I like doing is at the top of this, E plus sign. I waited till after it had a material. I just want to give it a nice emissive. I don't know what color. We'll try cool. See how it goes. Because lights are cool. Boop. You have to go boop too, right? If you're not making sound effects, you're not doing it right. You should be like boop doop while you're making everything, or just you're not. I'm not getting into it anyway. Ooh, we could put. I know that I saw in one of the Soul pictures they had like a drain in here because this area floods like bad every year. I was looking at a picture and the literally there was like if this is the real size and it's pretty close, the water was like up to here in the rainy season. Like it can be bad. But let's see if we can put a drain there. That'd be cool. And we'll use big, medium, small, Greebles, kit, trim sheet. There's something in panels or was it in Greebles? I saw a cool exhaust the other day that I just thought was neat. Um, that could be cool. Or that. Let's try this. See what we get. I think that'll work. RZ90. Scale it way to fuck up. And then let's go to solid. It's still nowhere near the bottom of my water if I cared. Well, it's actually near. Let's just edit it. No. Piss off. E. There. That goes to the bottom. Okay. Now we got like 10 minutes left before we call it. Let's try putting a crowd in there. I tried using our random walking crowd before and it failed me badly, the plugin. But I was get around with it a little bit yesterday and it kind of worked. So now I don't know. Let's give it a shot. And if it doesn't work, we'll get rid of it or I'll play with it more after the fact. I'm gonna probably add a little bit more bling to it after the fact anyway. So I want to take this thing here, and while I'm thinking about it, I want to make it a collision object because I'm going to come down here and add a crowd of random walkers. And let me add it wherever. Add crowd. No, it won't. Yeah, I don't want that. I just want this. I want to scale on the X, scale on the Y. Not quite that much. GY. Quite that much on the X, because I'd like to have some on the other stairs. And Control A, rotation scale. Now what happens, and I don't want crowd settings, I don't want 300 people to start with. Let's just try 25 so it's managed. Well, 50 so we can see it. And I want to go speed of 1. I got a personal space, and let's see what we get. And they fall through. Ah, we should have a collision object set there, right? Yep. Set floor. Add collision properties to selected objects except active and move them to the collision collection. Oh, is there a collision collection? Is that how you're doing it? Collider, yes. Okay. I don't want the whole thing, but it's tiny. So, I mean, I could just move the whole thing to the collision collector. Let's just see what collection. Let's see what happens. Collider. And rewind and play. No, you fall through. Got a collision. Void emitter. Like I said, I'm going to mess with this for just a minute, and then we're going to be like, because you're going to annoy me otherwise. Let's see. Emitter, yes. Source physics, void, yes. And there should be a collision. Let's just try, see if this does it. Where are you? Collider. Still fall right through everybody, you bastards. You have to first select the floor and then set the people playing, and then set the floor collision. Okay, you can try that. I tried doing it with the floor they created and it didn't like it at all. But yeah, let's give it a shot. Move it back to default scene. So select the floor, shift click that, set floor. Let's see if it worked. No. Let's see. It's got a collision object on it. Yeah. Did it put it in its collider thing? No. It did not. Or did it? No, it's goal. Let's just try putting the collider thing again. Random walk collider. It still falls through. I gotta watch the tutorial on this one. Because it should be working, but it's kind of a pain in my ass. All right, we're gonna deal with it later. We're just gonna delete it for right now. I'm not gonna leave this. I'm gonna try it, I think, when I'm not in the middle of streaming and trying to focus on a bunch of stuff, because it never seems to work well. Like, hey, let's try to talk and think and code and debug all at the same time. What could go wrong? Yeah. All right, let's think about the time of day. At least we maybe get a little bit of a shot going for what this would look like. And I think I am going to bling it a bit more afterward, but we'll get to that. No, Micah, that did not work at all. You are correct. um, let's see. We can go with the classic night Shanghai Bund ad. This is your classic nighttime HDR. It is used so often by so many people, but let's bring it down. And it's time to turn back on our buildings. Prepare for the lag. Da 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 da. There you go. And let's turn back on our signs. Street lights. And there we go. And I'm gonna even turn this down even more. Then it's gonna think some more. Yeah, all right. So we're getting that night vibe. It's not really, again, it's not popping yet. And I might have to work on popping after this whole thing, just because I don't feel like streaming forever, and um, I don't want to bore everybody. But it's, I mean, it's working. It's just not cool yet. I'm like, oh yeah, there it is. It's yeah, it is what it is. But it's not giving me that like, this is awesome. Let's just turn this down even more. 0.1. Just want to see what we get. Some fog would help too. That's starting to be better. I I like it dark. Um, and do we have lights that I can adjust in this thing? Um, they all came across as just an object, so I don't have access to change it. That's frustrating. Because I would want to make those brighter. Did I selected it? Well, okay. Let's try one thing. We're, like I said, we're coming close to the end of what, the 90 minutes, but let's just see what we get if we come back up here, turn back on lights, and let's add light, area light, bring it up, out, and let's make it spread of about 90, so it's much tighter. Size of, say, 5, and power of 500. And color, let's make it the classic Cyberpunk cyan. My heart dies a little bit inside every time. That's getting there. Yeah, I think a dark person in the foreground, you need a light against light against dark as you go back into these environments. That's what makes it work. And we don't have that right now. That light is helping a lot, actually. Um, that's the first thing I'm like, okay, yeah, we're getting something. Let's try to GY. As long as we don't have a fog to go above that light, you won't notice that it starts in the middle of nowhere. Um, that highlights that, so we could put a person there too, and that would be cool. And then maybe one more. Here. I'm off camera. Here. Let's try that. And you're thinking. You're still thinking. That's better. I think this is starting to work for us. You're right. We need something right here in this foreground. It could just be a thing, but a person, like a dark shadowed person with a light behind him, kind of going for that noir look, could be really cool there. And then a couple people along this back row just for interest would be cool. And probably some fog. I think those things are really going to help the scene, and they won't take me long to do. We can go a little bit long. Let's put a fog in there now, just to sort of again try it and see. Um, I think I could make my own. I often do, but I think I'm just going to grab a VDB file of a cloud so it has a bit more variation this time. Sure, we'll stretch it. Things like clouds, it doesn't really, you don't often care exactly what it looks like. It just has to look like something. So let's rotate it 90 since we'll get our, you know, and I don't want to be too tall either because I don't want to cover that our lights, but yeah, okay. S Shift Z 7 G SX, scale it just a bit more, and we'll bring it that way a little bit, I think. Let's see what we get. Save it. Go look at the material for it. It's probably, it's not too high volume. Throw a little anisotropy on it because it looks cooler. Let's see if we'll notice a difference. So I was like, I'm going to do this. It'd be great. And you're like, it did nothing. Oh, thanks. I like it. It's too heavy. We got too much fog still. I mean, it's cool, but I want to be able to see some of the other stuff, and I don't want to be about the fog, particularly when there's not any up above. I just want a light mist on the water. Yes, I think that is what we want. Something about like that. And we're going to have a little bit of fake fog in the environment because I have some set up in the compositing tab afterward. So it doesn't work in 3.5 yet to see in camera, but there will be like bluing out of things back there as we go along. But yeah, so that fog helps a lot. Those lights help a lot. I think we're getting close now. I think we are getting close now. Not 100% sure about the texture on that. I kind of want it darker. Um, let's just see what happens. Yeah, give me more screen. If we go to, I don't know, even grunge concrete. Let's see what it does. Thinking, 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 thinking. It's still too bright. Dot. That didn't add. Fine, piss off. Grunge concrete. Let's see what we got. That's better. Like it is in the water. So like I don't want the whole scene to be grungy and dirty, but I don't want that to be that bright. Now that's cooler. This means like there's something in the water now. Yeah. Sweet. Sweet. And we could try, because we're just trying stuff here. Is that our fog? Yeah, it looks like our fog. Yeah, I'm gonna move that to the fog folder because it will drive me insane. And in the fog folder, this happens if we duplicate it. RY90, and we bring it up over here. and take a look that way. Let's see what that gives us. Just if we can push the fog a little bit onto the buildings. Updating lights. And yes, we have two GDBs, so it's going to be a pain in my neck because one is slow, two gets very slow sometimes. It doesn't really add much to us that I can see yet. I don't think it's worth the pain. At least not like that, but we'll figure it out. And yeah. Okay. Well, I think I will let you folks go. I really appreciate all the interaction today. It was fun. It's nice to be able to talk to people and do these. Um, I'll be back again tomorrow morning at 7:30 to do another one. I have not decided what it's going to be yet, but we'll figure it out. This one I'm gonna clean up a little bit more and I'll post it up on Instagram and Mastodon later on this morning, my time. I guess it depends where you are, if it's morning or not. Um, if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe on YouTube. It just makes me feel loved and like people want me to keep doing this stuff. Um, yeah, and have a great day, and I'll be back later. Okay, folks, take care. Bye bye.